Page number 64. Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. Now, before you get to know about the poem, you need to understand that what is the background of the poet. This poet was not only a poet, he was also a clerk, which means he was a father in a church. Okay. He was a very religious person. You look at page number 64. John Donne was an English poet, scholar, soldier, and Anglican cleric, born into a Roman Catholic family. When practicing that religion was illegal in England. So what we find is that because John Donne was a highly religious person, he was a cleric, that is, he was a part of the church. He was a member of the church. You can say he was a father of the church. So therefore, it is quite natural to assume that a number of his poems deal with the theme of religion, death, and afterlife. So many of his poems talk about God, or how God comes to our help. And these poems are called holy sonnets. So there is a group of poems. They are called holy sonnets. Now, a sonnet is a 14-line poem. So if you turn to page number 66 and you do the counting, you will find there must be 14 lines. You do the counting and tell me. 14 lines.
7.
So 14 lines means it is a sonnet. You write there with a pencil. It is a sonnet having 14 lines. So firstly, it is a sonnet because it is a 14-line poem. Now, sonnets are usually romantic. Like we had done one sonnet. You remember? In class 11, we had done that Shakespeare sonnet. Sonnet number 116. Third poem. So in sonnet 116, William Shakespeare had talked about love. But this sonnet is not really about love in that sense. This sonnet is about death. So like I said, that John Donne was not just a scholarly person. He was somebody who was deeply connected with the church. So he has written a number of poems and essays on philosophies about God, spirituality, death, or what happens after death. So there is a lot of wisdom, a lot of depth in the poems. Now, what is the title of the poem? Lakshya, what is the title of the poem?
Yes, so
What is the title of this poem? इस poem का नाम
means
क्या है?
the oh, like that, so the death and be not proud.
So what do you think? What is the meaning of the title?
Death be not proud. So means death be
डेथ के बाद मान लो एक कॉमा है, ओके, डेथ बी नॉट प्राउड।
सो मतलब कि मरने के बाद कोई मरना है, कोई प्राउड चीज नहीं है ऐसा कुछ।
नहीं, वो डेथ को एड्रेस कर रहा है। डेथ हैज बीन पर्सोनिफाइड। नाउ लेट अस से इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू डेथ इज स्टैंडिंग। तुम्हारे सामने काल खड़ा है, ओके, डेथ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ डीमन। तो जॉन डन डेथ से बात कर रहा है। सो दिस पोएम इज एड्रेस टू डेथ, कि डेथ अपने आप पे इतना घमंड मत करो, ओके। यू डेथ बी नॉट प्राउड। अब डेथ को किस बात का घमंड है? डेथ को घमंड है, डेथ को लगता है कि सब लोग उससे थर थर कांपते हैं, और डेथ को लगता है कि वो सबसे ज्यादा पावरफुल है। वो किसी को कभी भी मार सकता है, किसी को कभी भी डरा सकता है। सो इन दिस पोयम जॉन डन is firstly personifying death, but he is trying to eliminate or erase the fear and the stigma that we associate with death. So like I said, because John Donne is a highly spiritual person, अगर तुमको डर है कोई चीज का, कोई बीमारी का, कोई भूत का, या मौत का, और तुम जाते हो किसी फादर के पास, किसी पंडित के पास, तो वो तुम्हें क्या बोलेगा? वो तुम्हें यही बोलेगा ना कि डेथ से मत डरो, या काल से मत डरो। ही विल ट्राई टू पैसिफाई यू। Any religious preacher will always try to pacify the crowd that death is just another stage. We should not be fearful of it. We should rather embrace it. So, like a true preacher, John Donne is also trying to dismiss the idea of the fear of death. Just a minute. 1 second. Understood? So, even though it is a small poem, but it is a very rich poem, full of philosophy and spirituality. The poet John Donne is trying to dismiss the notion of fear of death or power of death. So you write there, this poem is addressed to death. So it is a sonnet and it is addressed to death. Death with capital D. Nihal, read the first two lines.
Yes, sir. Death be not proud, though some have called thee might and dreadful, for thou art not so.
So John Donne is telling that death, be not proud. Death, तुम अपने आप पे घमंड मत करो. Even though some people have called thee means write down you. Mighty and dreadful. Underline mighty. It means powerful. Underline dreadful. Dreadful means terrifying. 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 So thou art not so. It means you are not so. For means because. So underline for and write because. And then write you are not so. So John Donne is talking to death, and he is telling death that do not be proud of yourself. It is true that some people who are scared of you, some people, some mortal humans, have called you very mighty. They have called you very powerful. Some fear you. They have called you dreadful, terrifying. But the fact is that you are not so. You are neither very powerful nor very dreadful. Nihal, read the next two lines.
For those whom thou thinkest thou doesn't overthrow, die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me.
So John Donne is saying कि डेथ तुम नहीं पावरफुल हो और नहीं डरावने. अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम लोगों को मार सकते हो तो ये गलत है. तुम उन्हें मार नहीं सकते और ना ही तुम मुझे मार सकते हो. तुम सिर्फ उनको कुछ कुछ देर के लिए सुला सकते हो. उसके बाद वो लोग फिर से उठ के दूसरी दुनिया में चले जाएंगे. तो यू आर अनेबल टू डिस्ट्रॉय द ह्यूमन सोल. You have no power to kill. You only provide people with a brief rest, with a short sleep, after which they wake up and they start their afterlife journey. So John Donne says, for those whom thou think. Thinkest means think. Thou means you. So underline thou and write you. For those whom you think. Again, thou means you. Dost means do. Do. Overthrow. Overthrow means like kill. So those whom you think you have killed. Those whom you think you have killed, they die not. Poor death. Now John Donne is calling death as poor death. So John Donne is pitying death. You underline poor death and right there the poet is pitying. P-I-T-Y-I-N-G. The poet is pitying death. Death with capital D. Poet death पे तरस खा रहा है. That death, you are neither powerful nor scary. ऐसा तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम लोगों को मार सकते हो, लेकिन ये तुम्हारी भूल धारणा है. It is a wrong assumption on your part. You cannot kill, nor yet. Again, canst means can. So underline canst and write can. Nor yet can thou kill me. So, nor yet you can kill me. Okay. Jagriti, read the next two lines.
Yes, sir. Die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me from
इसके बाद
rest
से
and sleep. हाँ sir.
from rest and sleep से.
From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be much pleasure, then from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go. Rest of their bones and souls delivery.
बस stop here.
Thou
So, John Donne continues his argument with death. It is like a monologue actually. Death कोई reply नहीं दे रहा है यहाँ पे. Death is not giving a reply. It is only the poet talking to death. So in a way, it is a monologue. So once again, the poet is trying to create the imagery of death, as if death is standing before the poet. And the poet says, हम लोग जब रात को सोते हैं, when we rest and sleep, what do we get? What do we get? हम लोग जब रेस्ट करते हैं या when you sleep, then what do you get? Lakshya, what do you get? Avantika, what do you get when you sleep or rest?
So we feel good, so relaxed completely.
So we get relaxation,
Relax.
we get pleasure. We get pleasure and relaxation, है ना? Which means हम लोग जब सोते हैं या रेस्ट करते हैं, then what we get is complete relaxation. One second. So when we take rest or when we sleep, then we get pleasure. So poet is telling death that death, you are not an object of fear. You are an object of pleasure. your image is not something that scares me. It rather gives me pleasure. Because what is death? Death is nothing but a short sleep. तुम जब रात को सोते हो या दोपहर को सोते हो, उसके बाद तुम कुछ देर बाद उठ जाते हो. So sleep is basically that gap between two forms of activity. Sleep rejuvenates you, refreshes your body, makes you feel good. It heals your tired bones and tired body, gives you peace, gives you stamina. So comparing death to a short sleep, poet is suggesting that death is like a short sleep between two activities. First activity is our mortal life on earth, our life as humans. And the second part is when we wake up after death and we continue our journey beyond the earth, which is called afterlife. So in the afterlife also we have the same soul. तो डेथ कहां से हमें खत्म कर रहा है? Death is not able to kill us. Death is only giving us refreshment. Death should be something which we should welcome. Death, अब आराम करने को मिलेगा. ये है पोएट का नोशन. That death एक आराम है. When we are tired of our worldly duties and we need a bit of repose, we need a bit of rest, we need a short sleep, then death is that sleep. Death is that phase where we can relax and feel refreshed. After we are relaxed and refreshed, our bones, which are tired, our bones will go to rest. Now the poet is suggesting, bones का मतलब है तुम्हारा physical body. Your physical body, that is flesh, blood and bones, that is required in this mortal world. After that, our body becomes old, our bones become tired, they become weak. तो उसका कोई काम नहीं आगे. So the bones go to rest. They go to a state of permanent rest. And then the soul is delivered. The soul is freed or liberated. So who is the one? Who is the one who is giving rest to our bones? It is death. Who is the one who is giving liberty to our soul? It is death. तो पोएट ये बात डेथ को समझा रहा है कि अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम हमको कंट्रोल कर सकते हो, if you think that you have power over us and we are intimidated by you, we are afraid of you, then you are wrong. Firstly, you cannot kill us and you cannot kill me. All you can do is you can put me in a state of short sleep. That's it. So look at these lines. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure. So the poet says that your pictures or your images are the images of rest and sleep. And because rest and sleep give us pleasure, so should we expect much pleasure from you. In fact, from you, more pleasure should flow. Then from thee means you. Then from you, much more must flow. Because death is a longer form of rest, it is a longer form of sleep. If sleep gives us pleasure, तुम आधा घंटा सोगे तुम्हें थोड़ा प्लेजर मिलेगा, तुम 4 घंटा सो जाओ तुम्हें ज्यादा प्लेजर मिलेगा. तो डेथ तो उससे भी बड़ा है ना. डेथ goes on for a long time. So because death is the longest form of sleep, therefore death should give the highest amount of pleasure. So you can see very that how the poet, using his own religious beliefs, he is obviously inspired by his doctrines and holy books, and the poet is writing this poem in a sermon like way. ये poem सिर्फ poem नहीं, it is like a sermon. You will feel that तुम शायद किसी बहुत ही बड़े गुरु का प्रवचन सुन रहे हो. Understood? So the poet is saying that from rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure, then from thee much more must flow. So अगर रेस्ट और स्लीप से हमें प्लेजर ही मिलता है और तुम रेस्ट और स्लीप के ही इमेजेस हो, देन तुमसे हमें और भी ज्यादा प्लेजर मिलना चाहिए. And soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls delivery. So the poet says that our best men, which means the country's best people or the world's best people, one day they will go away with you. Now, what is the normal thing? If somebody who is a very great leader of the world, a very beloved person, when that person dies, we cry. We think that death has eaten him or her. We think that death has conquered the person. Death has taken away the great man. ये हम लोग normally सोचते हैं. And that is why death is proud. That is why death is arrogant. But the poet is saying to death that it is true that very soon the greatest of our people, the bravest of our people, the noblest of our people, the ones who are most loved, one day you will take them away. So one day they will go with you. Rest of their bones and soul's delivery. But why will they go with you? And where will they go with you? They will go to rest their bones. They will go ताकि उनके बॉडी को या उनके शरीर को आराम मिले और उनके आत्मा को मुक्ति मिले. तो डिलीवरी मीन्स राइट डाउन लिबर्टी और फ्रीडम. डिलीवरी मीन्स लिबर्टी, LIBERTY, लिबर्टी और फ्रीडम. So John Donne is saying that he's acknowledging the mechanical process of death. He's saying that it is true that death comes and death takes us away. But death takes us away, and that is for our own benefit. So death does not conquer us. It actually comforts us. Isn't it? It comes and it comforts us. It comforts our tired bodies, our body and bones that have been doing their duty in this mortal world for the past so many decades. Our wearied, exhausted, fatigued bodies. Our wearied, exhausted, and fatigued bodies, they need rest. And death provides them with that rest. And the soul that had been trapped in the body, or the soul that now seeks a new life, the soul whose role is over in this world, the soul that now wants release, liberty, because it wants to start its new life. It is death that unchains or unblocks the soul from the body. Avantika, read the next two lines from Thou Art.
So can you hear me?
Hmm.
Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and lost with poison, war, and sickness dwell.
Now here, John Donne here humiliates death. He says that death, if you think that you are our master, if you think that you are the master of our lives, let me correct you. You are actually the slave of our lives. You are slaves to so many things. You can never come on your own. You are always invited by fate. For example, if I die in an accident, so accident is my fate, my destiny. So fate controls my death. Death does not control my death. Fate controls my death. Therefore, death is a slave of fate. So thou art, underline thou art, it means you are. You are slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men. So the poet says that death, तुम एक्चुअली हमारे मास्टर नहीं हो, तुम तो इन चार चीजों के गुलाम हो. एक है फेट यानी तकदीर, एक है चांस यानी भाग्य, सिमिलर टू फेट, क्योंकि भाग्य के साथ कभी कभी तुम आ जाते हो, किसी का दुर्भाग्य होता है तुम आ जाते हो. किंग, किंग अपनी मर्जी से किसी को भी मरवा सकता है. द किंग कैन हैंग और किल एनीबडी, which means the king can invite death at his own command. So how is death the master? It is the king who can call death anytime, and death will have to come like a slave. King जब भी बोलेगा इसको मरवा दो, तो वो इंसान को मार दिया जाएगा और मौत को आना ही पड़ेगा. यानी किंग के इशारे पे मौत नाचता है. So how is death a master? How are you a master? Why are you so proud? You have nothing to be proud of. You are simply a slave. You are a servant of chance, fate, king, and even those desperate men who kill. Now suppose if I am desperate to take revenge against my friend. I'm desperate to take revenge against my friend and I kill my friend. Or maybe I hate somebody, like Hitler hated Jews. So Hitler killed so many Jews in desperation. So when people they hate somebody or they are desperate to kill, then they go and kill. They don't wait for death. Death comes because they kill, which means they have the power to control death, to bring in death. Therefore, death is basically a slave of destiny, our fate. Any king or any government who can always give death sentence. And all those desperate men that the world is full of. Any criminal, any insane person, anybody. अगर मैं थोड़ा पागल हूं और मैं ब्रिज से कूद जाऊं, so in my desperation I can kill myself, which means is death controlling me? No, I am controlling death. Death is my slave. I can easily call death. I can kill anything. I can kill an insect. I can kill a bird. I can kill somebody else. And I can therefore invite death. So death is basically under my control. Death is under the control of desperate men. Therefore, John Donne is ridiculing and making fun of death by saying that death, you are powerless. If you think that you are very powerful, then you are wrong. You are powerless because you are controlled by so many people. And you dwell with. You can be found living with all those lowly inferior things like poison, sickness, and war. So you write there, give an arrow and write, you live with LOWLY, lowly, comma, inferior things like poison. You live with lowly, comma, inferior things like poison, war, and sickness. Okay. So John Donne further humiliates death by saying that तुम अपने आप को मास्टर समझते हो, तुम तो घूमते हो इन लफंगों के साथ, इन छोटे छोटे चीजों के साथ, पॉइजन, बदनाम चीजों के साथ, पॉइजन के साथ तुम घूमते हो, जहां पॉइजन मिलता है वहां तुम मिलते हो, तुम वॉर के साथ घूमते हो, जहां वॉर होता है वहां तुम पाए जाते हो, और सिकनेस जैसे छोटे से बदनाम चीजों के साथ तुम घूमते हो। तुम्हारे जो दोस्त यार हैं वो लोग सब बदनाम है, नेगेटिव थिंग्स, sickness, war, poison, and you are found there. You dwell with them. And dost means do, and you do with poison war and sickness dwell. Dwell means live. So you live with poison, war, and sickness. How can you call yourself a mighty thing? What is the source behind your pride? Do not be proud. You should be ashamed of yourself that you are found with such disreputed things like poison and sickness. And in fact, your only power is that you can make us sleep. You can give us rest. लेकिन तुमसे ज्यादा अच्छा स्लीप हमें एक मैजिकल स्पेल दे सकता है, एक मैजिक स्पेल, या फिर पॉपी ड्रग्स. So look at the next line. And poppy, underline poppy and write poppy drugs. Poppy एक तरह का जैसे होता है ना वीड वगैरह, वीड एंड ऑल, तो पॉपी एक तरह का प्लांट है जिसको लोग खाते हैं, तो वो ड्रग की तरह काम करता है. वहां लिख लो अ ड्रग प्लांट. चार्म्स का मतलब लिखो मैजिक स्पेल्स, मैजिकल स्पेल्स, चार्म्स. So John Donne says that your only role is that you can make us sleep or rest. But even in that, you are not number one. If I consume poppy, I will sleep a more sounder sleep, a more peaceful sleep. Or if a magician comes and puts me under a spell, then I will sleep more peacefully. I will sleep more deeply. So what you do, that job can also be done by poppy or by a spell. And better than thy stroke. Why swellest thou then? और ये लोग पॉपी एंड द मैजिक स्पेल्स, ये लोग ये काम तुमसे बेटर कर सकते हैं, तो फिर तुम क्यों इतना छाती फुला रहे हो? स्वेल का मतलब होता है अपने आप को इन्फ्लेट करना. सो अंडरलाइन स्वेलेस्ट एंड राइट inflating in pride. So why are you inflating? INFLATING. Why are you inflating in pride? So the poet tells Death that what you do, that can also be done by a poppy plant or a magic spell. It means that what you do, you don't even do it in the best way. You are not best in that. And you are not unique in that. You are neither our master nor our destroyer. You come to comfort us, not to destroy us. You have no power to come. Kings and desperate men or chance or destiny can call you anytime. So you don't even have control over time. In that case, why are you swelling yourself up? What are you proud about? What are you proud about? Nothing. Lakshya, read the last two lines. Lakshya, read the last two lines. Jagriti, you read.
Yes. And better than the stroke by wills thou then one short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more, that thou shalt die.
Okay. So the poet says, even if you come to me, it will be a short sleep. For me, it will be a short sleep. After that short sleep, I will wake up eternally. Underline eternally and write forever. Forever. The poet is saying that अगर डेथ हम पे आता भी है तो कुछ देर के लिए वो हमें सुला सकेगा, उसके बाद हम उठ जाएंगे. We will wake up. Our souls will wake up. We will start our eternal journey. The journey which is timeless, which is boundless. Our afterlife. और वहां पे डेथ का कोई रोल ही नहीं होगा. Which means अब डेथ वापस नहीं आ सकता. Death cannot return in that life. Okay. So, Avantika, explain the last line. अच्छा, Avantika not there. Last line का कोई मतलब बता सकता है? And death shall be no more. Death thou shall die. Nihal, what is the meaning of the last line?
Idea नहीं sir.
Jyotika, meaning of last line. And death shall be no more.
इसका मतलब हो सकता है कि मतलब मतलब मरना तो मतलब जैसे कुछ टाइम के लिए ही होता है, तो उसके बाद वो और रहेगा नहीं, मतलब बहुत एक शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के लिए डेथ रहता है. और उसका मेरे को नहीं समझ में.
हाँ, पोएट बोल रहा है कि हम लोग अभी अभी जिस लाइफ में, इस लाइफ में डेथ एक बार आएगा. वी विल स्लीप एंड देन वी विल वेक अप. अब हम लोग जब वेकअप करेंगे उसके बाद डेथ और नहीं आ सकता. अंडरस्टूड? क्योंकि व्हेन वी आर वेकिंग अप आफ्टर डेथ, वो जर्नी हमारा इटर्नल जर्नी, वो फॉरएवर जर्नी है. वहां पे डेथ नहीं आ सकता. इसका मतलब डेथ शैल बी नो मोर. तो डेथ इज नॉट परमानेंट. डेथ इज अ टेम्पोररी स्टेज. और एक बार वो आ जाए फिर वो वापस नहीं आ सकता. क्योंकि एक बार वो आके चला जाए और हम लोग फिर से जिंदा हो जाए एंड वी स्टार्ट आवर आफ्टर लाइफ जर्नी, देन डेथ डाइज. समझे? डेथ डाइज. इस चीज को समझो. अभी हम लोग जिंदा हैं, डेथ आएगा, डेथ आके तुम्हें मार सकता है. यू कैन गो टू अ शॉर्ट स्लीप, बट देन यू वेक अप. एंड व्हेन यू वेक अप, you start your deathless journey. You start a journey where death cannot come to you. Which means तुम तो मरे ही नहीं. Because death तुमको सुलाया लेकिन तुम फिर से जग गए. तो डेथ तुम्हें कहां मार सका? लेकिन डेथ खुद मर गया. क्योंकि अब डेथ फिर कभी नहीं आ सकता. तो डेथ डज नॉट किल अस. Death kills itself when it comes. Because its first visit is its last visit. So if death visits you once, it can never visit you again because death has died for you. But you are not dead because you will once again wake up and you will continue your journey in the afterlife. Okay. So look at the last two lines again. One short sleep passed. एक छोटे से नींद के बाद we wake up eternally. हम लोग फिर से जग जाएंगे हमेशा के लिए. सो मौत तुम्हें हमेशा के लिए नहीं सुलाता. It will wake you up eternally and death shall be no more. और उसके बाद डेथ वापस नहीं आ सकता कभी. And then capital D, which means now he's telling death that death, thou shall die. So underline thou shall die and write you shall die. वहां लिखो you shall die as you cannot come again. You shall die as you cannot come again. Is this clear? So the poem is Death Be Not Proud, which means death, तुम अपने आप पे इतना अभिमान मत करो. So in this poem, John Donne has tried to bring down the power of death. He is trying to bring down the terror that surrounds death. So people who are afraid of death, or people who are on their deathbed, those who are sick, those who are old, जिनको डर लग रहा है मरने का, by reading this poem and by understanding this poem, they will feel a bit comforted. They will feel that death, after all, is not something we should be scared of. Okay. You write a summary of this poem and send it to me, if possible, by tonight. All the lines, line by line summary. Any question? Everything clear? Jagriti?
Yes,
Lakshan, Nihal, Jyotika? Fully clear? Poem is fully clear?
Yes, sir.
Jagriti? You will write a summary of this poem. It is a very short poem. Try to write the summary today and send it to me by tonight. आज हमने जो डिस्कस किया वो दिमाग में फ्रेश है, तो write a summary. It will take only half an hour and send it to me on WhatsApp. Okay? Okay then. You may leave. Bye.